Thank you so
Hey,
much for being here. Beautiful souls that are watching, thank you for being here. This is gonna be an awesome conversation. I actually met Laura through Facebook Marketplace, selling her a singing bowl, and we struck up a conversation, and I just loved her energy. She hugged me before she left, and I just knew in that moment I needed to reach out to you again at some point, and now is that some point.
now we're here.
And now we're here.
Incredibly grateful to even cross your path because we have so much in common, and I felt the same way about you. So this is really exciting stuff. And I use the bowl that I bought from you. I use that as one of my sacred instruments. So
Awesome.
every piece of instrument that I have is uh, something that I use on a daily practice. And so what that means, what that could mean is like building a relationship and connecting with my voice and with the instruments. So yeah, I am so grateful for you for that. So this is an honor and I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see where it goes because I know so little, and I was gonna ask you questions before, just when we were texting back and forth, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave this as it is and just roll with it. So something I'm curious about for sure is just, are you originally from Texas?
Yes,
Okay, okay, born and raised. Okay.
born
Okay.
and raised in Texas. Um, lived in Fort like South Edge, this little small town called Joshua,
Yeah.
for most of my life. But yeah, born and raised in Texas.
And how did you get into sound healing? And did you come from a spiritual family? Not at all. Like, how did that fall into
Um,
your...
so it's actually like my whole life story, I feel like, or
Yeah.
just like it's like the beginning stages of learning more about myself because for the longest time I struggled to use my voice. I
Mm,
struggled to know myself because I grew up as, we all have our stories, but I grew up having to learn everything through other people as an only child. And so I build built my life around the ideal, like um just like the ideal child, the ideal, college graduate. Like it wasn't me at all. And I
ideal in terms of society is ideal. Yeah, not your own. Yeah.
yes, or the people that I grew up their idea. And so it just developed an unhealthy toxic cycle, or just um personality that it was just like this personality was taking over
Mm,
my
mm,
heart. Like my heart was so heavy,
mm.
and I couldn't express myself because I didn't know who I was.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it had to do with the amount of weight that was sitting in my heart, like the amount of sadness, the amount of depression, the amount of anxiety, and not feeling ever satisfied in life, not
Yeah.
feeling grateful, not knowing how to feel grateful because um, I lived a lot. Like there's
Yeah.
most of
So many of us
my
do. Yeah.
story. Yeah, this is my story. Like so much of my life, I identified myself through other people,
Mhm.
and it was just so toxic. And I just knew that I just struggled to accept this. And so through that, I found myself just wanting to know more about who I am. And I think it took me therapy to really get through those walls of uncertainty and fear, and just like breaking the ego to the max. Like I
Mhm.
did hit rock bottom, and I think um therapy really helped me. I went to group therapy, a nonprofit called Pathways.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was about 26 years old or
How
20.
large are their groups on average?
Um,
Change?
when I went, which was, I want to say 2016, 2017, there was 300
Wow.
in my,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
300 or 130 something.
That's
It's
fascinating.
been a long time.
Yeah. The I started the same way, kind of in therapy, well, in like just traditional therapy. Um and then I went into group therapy through something called Discovery Dallas. And the class I was in was like 30 people, but there's different classes going on that are at different like levels. I say levels, I just mean like they've gone through there's in total there's 1 month where you're talking about X, Y, and Z, and another month where you're talking about X, Y, and Z, and then a third month where you're talking about X, Y, and Z. So you're in your class depending on how many months you've been there, essentially. But there's multiple classes going on.
Right,
So there's about like what you were saying. It's probably and it range each class changes. So in total, when you're there through your weekends, there's anywhere from 150 to 300 people, and then there's like 30 in your class. But you get to know the other classes just as well as your own.
right.
And I'm shocked to hear you say group therapy. I feel like a lot of people don't do that or don't talk about it at least. And yeah, I'm
I
just
don't
shocked
even
that
think
you
that it's group
started that
therapy.
way. What did
Yeah,
you say?
I was about to say, and I apologize for cutting
No,
you off,
no, girl,
but
interrupt me all you need to.
it's my ADD coming through.
I feel you.
Fast sometimes. But no, it was, oh, I went blank now.
Oh, group
It
therapy.
was, yeah, group therapy, like they called it something else instead of group.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like a healing part. It was something that was not talked about. Like,
Yes.
know
Yeah,
what I
yeah, yeah.
mean? Like
Yes.
word
Yes. I know
therapy
what you
was
mean.
not talked about, but it was basically like
Yeah.
therapy, even probably deeper than therapy because
I was
it's
just gonna say, I feel like it's like therapy on steroids because not only are you experiencing yourself, it's everyone else in the group too. And yeah, it was a fascinating 3 months for sure. And that, I mean, I think I look back on it and I think about how many different ways, how many different aspects it's just continued to help me over the years. And it's just I mean, I'll just stop in a moment sometimes and think of someone from that class and think about like what they went through, what we talked about, whatever. And it just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we need more group therapy or something. I don't know. Like that's got to become like a norm.
well, get this. I really think it has a lot to do with community too, and like
Absolutely.
knowing like you're not alone and
Alone.
you
Yeah.
know you we all struggle with the same issues. Like we
Yes.
all are living in the same world. Like
Yes.
we all have something that connects us. Um, and can hear us and see us and see all of us.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the beautiful part because you have all these like reflections of yourself that like of people that see you from a different, from a
Absolutely.
different perspective, from a different source. And I think that's what makes my belief system so strong because I want to inspire other people to believe in themselves
Yes.
um, the way that they deserve, the way
Yes.
that um,
This is
but
our
like
birthright. This is our
right, like
God-given
this is
birthright, you know?
like
Like,
my mentor, she told me like everybody's born with so much potential
yes.
and everybody deserves to feel like that freedom of have like being having that choice because we all have like we all have the free will to choose what is good, like what feels good for us, or
Yes.
we have choice. And it's like being able to make those choices that create your destiny, like
Mhm.
create, I
Yes,
hope I'm making sense because
absolutely. It's
I'm
that,
living it right now.
yes. Yeah. And it's that light bulb moment where It's funny. I did a meditation right before this meeting, and I am finally like I was just in such a place of gratitude during it, and for just simply being just where I am right now, because I felt so trapped before, and now I am really, not only do I knew before from talking to people and just everything that we are in control, but now I'm starting to know it and feel it everywhere, and that is just like I just I mean I was crying in meditation. I was just like, this is such a great place to be, because you know, like when you finally get that power back, it's like all bets are off.
When you realize your worth,
Yes.
when you
In your power. Those
in
two
your
things
power,
together.
and like,
Yes.
let's just say like you don't have all the things that like you're, you wish you have the awareness, right?
Mhm.
But the people places things aren't like matching the awareness that you've gained
Yes.
perspective. You studied and you just know like this is what I deserve. But it's like, how can I create abundance around me based on how I feel?
I love that you are saying this. I just heard someone say the other day, and I haven't heard it in this way, and it's exactly what you're saying. He was saying that um so many of us build this personality based off of our environment, others around us, whatever, whatever. When really we should be creating our environment based off of our personality. So everything you're saying is hitting that on the head. I heard him say, I can't remember, it was probably a podcast. I can't remember who it was, but I just remember him saying it, and I just like, yes. And we all do it. You know, we are so trained, programmed from an early age to do that. To We want to fit in, we want to feel accepted.
It
We
goes
think
like
we're separate, so
cycle,
yes,
right? And that's like the hardest part. I think that's why
yes,
people are ashamed to talk about therapy, because it's like you you've faked your way you
yes,
to protect yourself, but to
yes,
you think you're a fraud
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because you don't know
Or
any,
that there's something wrong with you. If I mean,
or
depending on how
yeah,
you're going into it, but yes, yeah,
but
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like they don't want the egoist can
yes,
take over,
yes,
and it's that's why it's so important to heal those wounds when you feel trapped. Like for me, I just didn't have a voice and I just felt trapped. And it's like, if I didn't come to terms with why I couldn't use my voice, and if I didn't work on finding my worth every single day and being open to receive the joy that I've lost for so
mm-hmm,
long,
mm-hmm.
like it's important to heal those wounds
Absolutely.
because
It's almost, I mean, I hate speaking in absolutes. Um, or I'm just trying to be mindful of words in general. As I'm saying this, I just realized I used the word hate. I'm just let it go. Um, I'm trying,
very
I don't even know what I was just saying now. Shoot.
girl, that happens. That's
All the
okay.
time. It will come back.
But I was basically saying like people, those egos will be so
Yes.
big that they will take over those unhealed wounds, like those
Yes.
the people that have unhealed wounds. And like, if you don't know your worth, if you don't know what your true capabilities are, if you're that ashamed to take the next step, then this is how your life is going to keep
Yeah.
repeating itself. To
Yes.
keep, it's never going to change. And you will know that feeling before you will know
Yes.
the feeling will carry with you.
Well, I think we think that we can just kind of build on top, like we've got the wounds, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to start from right here, and be able to move forward or whatever. But as we know, everything's energy. You have to clear that old energy, the negative energy, in order to make room for the new energy or whatever you want to come in. So it makes total sense that we can't just stick the positive energy or whatever we want on top of the old. It like there's no room for it. You can't stick that into that box. The old has to come out first. You know what I mean? Am I making any
I'm
sense?
not too sure. You have to give me example. You have to give me
Just
I'm a visual
like
person.
because I was going to say that you have to do the shadow work. You have to heal the inner child. You have to
Yes.
get because if you're just picturing your body full of negative energy and you want to suddenly change your life, become the person that you truly are. Well, if the body is full of everything you aren't, of all these old wounds, trauma, just negative energy full. The new, the good, the positive, the real, you can't like.
There's no conscious, there's no even
Yes.
receptivity.
Yes. It's truly blocked. Yeah.
It's like people won't know. These people will walk around like lost souls.
Mm.
If it weren't for like hope, you know,
Yes. So
hope.
how was it truly like the therapy that and was the therapy is pathways spiritual?
Well, it's more than pathways, but that was like
Yes, that was the start
literally,
though.
yeah, that was the start of it. That really completely changed my whole
Outlook.
outlook, but also like broke free of like, um, what's that word? Oh no! Broke free of this identity that I thought I was
Yes.
the whole time.
Yes. Yes.
I forgot what it's called. Illusion, an
Yes.
illusion.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Breaking free from the illusion. Yeah.
Right. And I think I was like
Yes.
it really birthed a whole new me, where
Yeah.
that's where my curiosity started, like where
Yeah.
I started asking more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Still didn't have a voice, but I started asking more questions, and I wasn't ashamed of it because I honestly didn't know, and it was the truth.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
and then I started when the whole COVID thing, I think everybody knows.
Yes. Yes.
Resting and spending time in the sun and just
Mm-hmm.
not working really just
And
put
removing yourself from, because we were more isolated than ever. So removing yourself from all
from
the
every
people.
energy
Yeah.
around you,
Yeah.
right?
And
Like
then you're like,
getting to
oh,
know
this
yourself.
is, yes. Yes.
Wow, I'm so glad you brought that
Yes.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just like it I developed this idea of life of just like what if like what if well, how do I build my own business? Like these ideas just came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Like I felt like I had to be creative during the time because I was so bored and I didn't I didn't work or anything.
Yeah.
So I was just like trying to tap into like the things that brought me joy because I spent most of my time outside. And I
Yeah.
think that really I dove into spirituality because of that, because TikTok was like really popular, I think, at around
Yes.
that time. And so I found the spiritual community. And yeah, I've gotten my heart broken a lot in the process too. So that's another story.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is, it's that, I mean, that can happen no matter what in any industry regarding any topic, whatever. But I feel like it's very easy for
Mhm.
that to happen in spiritual communities. It's a lot of people that are going in at their rock bottoms, and you know what I mean? So even if you think you're at a place or doing the right thing and loving someone properly, there's a lot of brokenness that still is being worked out. And if you aren't aware of that, like getting into it, that can set you up. There's a ton of scammers. I mean, I could go on and on. This is,
Yeah,
yeah,
that and I think that's my mission right now.
yeah,
Well, I feel like I'm called to uh I don't know what the term could be for this, but just like to speak up about that.
shed light on it. Yeah,
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 because I'm
yeah,
very aware of who I am as a
yeah,
person. I've struggled with mental health really badly.
Mm.
and I fought it. I
Mhm.
fought it, and nothing can take me back to that same place.
Yeah.
So seeing it has really irked me because if it were me and I didn't have this self-awareness and I legit spent $3,000, $6,000 to your summit or your
Oh.
mentorship,
Yeah.
your retreats, then I'm just being called to speak up. But
Yeah.
I um yeah, there's a fear that's also attached to that.
Of course. And that makes
Because,
total
yeah,
sense. But I
yeah.
was, as you were saying this, I was just thinking, thank God you did go through it, because
No, I
now
can't.
you can speak up about it. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
try to be as vocal as possible too.
yeah.
Like when I feel something sick in my stomach, I try to
Yes. You
communicate
gotta get it out. Yeah. Yeah.
because if I wait any longer, I most of the time, and this is just from my personal experience, I've learned that since being putting myself in a box and being small for so long because I didn't want other people to feel uncomfortable.
Mm.
Um, Now that I have a voice, it irks them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like people are they only the vibe I get sometimes is like they the jealousy and the envy and um the like the lack of self-respect.
And again, though, it's that will spark something in them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like it will get to a point, hopefully, that they will sit back and say, okay, where is this jealousy coming from? Where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not you that they're upset with.
I
It's
know, but
they
it's like
haven't
having when you
done
speak
their
up,
work. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You,
But yes, it is hard to remember that and see it when you're in it.
yeah, because you're like I'm
Yes.
having that's a trauma, that's a
Yes.
trauma response, and I'm having to like constantly
Yeah.
nurture those wounds
Yes.
when I do express myself, because when I express myself, it comes from the heart.
Yeah.
Like everything that I do is because I care. It's not because I have bad intentions.
Right.
It's not
Right.
because I'm making you look bad. It's because I see something that could be so valuable if you are open to receive
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
have to say.
Yeah.
Like I
And you're
said,
human, that we all, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you are the most enlightened. I don't care if you're Buddha. Like, you're human. You're gonna mess up. It
you're
will.
human. I tell myself that. There's also boundaries that need to take place, but
Yeah.
boundaries
Yeah.
and grace are
Yeah.
having
Yes.
opposites
Yes.
of like what needs to be balanced.
Yes.
And I try to do both, but I also really respect the hard work that I've done, so I hold myself accountable when necessary. But yeah, self-love is a constant work in progress, girl.
Yes. 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 Something I was gonna say about people just showing whatever, telling you whatever, thinking whatever, especially if it's someone that you have known for a long time. They've always known this one side of Laura. And then once you start working on yourself and start to change, then those people are like, who are you? It's not even necessarily it's not always because
Yeah.
they're upset with you. It's because they're like, I no longer, it's like an uncomfortable, you know what I mean? They're used to certain things one way, and then all of a sudden it feels so foreign to them. And it's not that you're doing anything wrong necessarily. It's like it's just a new feeling. So it's like,
I,
oh, like what is this? And then
you're
I think a lot of
right.
people
I
will,
love
will
that.
respond out of anger or jealousy, and really it's that they don't recognize the person or the feeling, or.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like constantly, having to hold that mirror of self-love through that process. Or
Yeah.
just not self-love, but like look, like um
Like acceptance and allowing it to.
yeah. A lot, or even for myself, like if there are like those energies around me, then I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna distance myself. I don't have to do anything. I don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
have
The
to.
awareness is the key. Yeah. Just
Right.
being simply aware of it, then like you said, you don't have
Yeah.
to do anything, just to to know,
Yeah.
because there's just so many things in the past where I would take it to heart, whether someone's saying something negative or whatever, I would take it to heart. And now being aware, it just gives you that chance to step back and see
Right.
it. It can to remove yourself from the situation and just allow it to be. And the awareness is really key, I think. I think it's important to, when you do catch things, like even if it's, let's say you're being mindful of your thoughts and then you hear yourself say something negative. I think it's important to not then dwell on that even more. Like, don't beat yourself up about the fact that you said something negative, because that's only going, that's negative. You know, it's like you've lost twice now, instead of just removing yourself and taking a step back from it, then you can just see it for really what it is.
Yeah, that's all it is, just seeing it for
Yeah.
what it is and not taking it personal or just
Yes.
um yeah, just letting it play out and not reacting to it.
Yes.
I think that's the most.
Remembering that we're energy, like I literally, as much as I can, I try to imagine people or things as energy, because that takes the sting out of it. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? When you look at energy as positive and negative and what you're attracting, what you want, all that, it takes out the sting. It no longer feels like an attack against me. It just feels like energy doing what it does.
Right.
You
And
know?
I mean, and I accept people for who they are too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. We
that's
have to. Yeah.
like yeah, they got a lot of shit going on for them. I got a lot of shit going on. And we just respond differently and like
Yeah.
accept and like choose what you accept and what you don't accept, especially when people react or like
Mhm.
project on you. Like know your boundaries, know
Yeah,
your
boundaries are important.
yeah,
Yeah.
very
And like
important.
you
I've
said,
learned
having the voice, or sometimes you don't even need to verbally say something to make a boundary, but it does help a lot, I think. Yeah, boundaries are super important. I end up using frequency and vibration interchangeably. Please stop me. I do that all the time. Like they're the same word, soul and spirit. I do that too. No, they're not the same. I'm not trying to confuse anybody. If
You're
you hear
so
me do that
cool.
in
Yeah,
this,
you're so
please
cool, dude. Hey, whatever your vocabulary is. But if I start asking questions, like just like that's just for me trying to understand you,
ask away. Yeah.
that I can respond effectively. You know
Right,
what
right,
I
right,
mean?
right, right. Yes.
Yeah.
So I really want to know more about, I think you said that you went to a retreat that Aubrey
That's
Marcus had put on.
That was last year. That's called Fit for Service.
What was the very first retreat that you went to?
That was Fit for Service.
Oh,
That
it
was
was
like
that
the
one.
first retreat summit sweat lodge
Uh-huh.
experience I've ever had. I've
Was that
never
in
had.
the US?
Yeah, that was a very life-changing experience too. I didn't know anything about breath work. Have you heard of breath work?
Yeah, we talked about this. You
Oh
actually
yeah,
let me, yeah, yeah. I am
yeah,
glad you
Nick.
brought this up. Breathwork's so important. Yes. Go
Oh
ahead.
my God, yes. I'm so glad I'm bringing this up because
Yes.
I am not working with, I actually met him through Fit for Service, Dr. Solnick. He is a breathwork doctor who has opened, what's the word for this? Because this is such a very valuable and sacred experience that I had through breathwork, where Nick guided me to see beyond the physical
Yes.
world,
Yes.
beyond the
Breathwork meditation, in terms of the feeling, what I'm experiencing, just being able to get past the veil. I think,
yeah,
and with breathwork, deep meditations, plant
yes.
medicine, they're all on the same level in terms of what it can show you.
I saw my ancestors and
Mm.
I wasn't able to I never experienced that type of meditation before, but it definitely helps slows down the heart rate.
Mm.
And every time I do breath work, I can think better. I am more present in my body. I'm just more like sure of everything.
Yes. And it
Um,
makes total sense that breath work is so important and does so much for us because,
mhm.
I mean, without our breath, if we don't have our breath, we don't have our life.
Don't even breathe
Yeah,
properly.
no,
Like we have those short breaths and
yes,
we
shallow,
hold our
short
breath.
breathing. Yes,
Yeah. I'm so glad I discovered breath work because I struggled with asthma and respiratory infections. And I had a panic attack one time, and that was like so scary. And yeah, I found Dr. Nick through Fit for Service. I attend his breathwork sessions every other Sunday. Definitely come and
I
join us.
will. I will. I'll talk to you offline about it for sure.
Okay.
Um, I'll talk to you about, I'm going to an event in Austin called Solar Punk, the Renaissance, and it's a 4-day event, very much like what you're talking about. They're doing all sorts of things, breath work,
Wow.
sound healing, all of that.
I
And
need to start going to these things, so I
this
appreciate
is my first one I'm going to. That's why I'm asking so much about the retreats you've been on, because I'm just like, what am I getting myself into?
what the hell is this going like what's going on here? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It was a huge leap for me
yeah,
doing for service, but like I really put myself out there. I took a huge risk. Like spent so much money, but it was like I'm glad I did because I was able to see myself through successful people.
yes,
People that
yeah,
have successful businesses
yeah,
that do what I love to do. And I got to get advice. Got to receive medicine. I got to understand spirituality a little bit deeper
yes,
and connect with people that just like brought me so much life.
yes.
So I'm very thankful for Fit for Service and what what I gained from the experience. Um, yeah, because it helped me a lot, like not only to believe in myself, but how to build my business.
Yeah, yeah. That's so important. I love that. So tell me about Costa Rica. How long was that?
That was a week long,
Okay. The
and
pictures are
uh,
awesome from that trip.
girl, have you ever been to Costa Rica?
Yes. It's one of my favorite places. Even if it was a hideous place, just the light, their vibes. Pure vida,
Their
you
vibes,
know?
the vibes.
Yes. And
People
it's a real
love the
thing. It's
vibes, like they
yes.
love the
Yes.
tourists.
Yes.
Um,
Everyone talks about it, and then you think like, okay, whatever. And then you get there and you can literally feel the energy.
the
It's
intention of
unbelievable.
the island, like people,
Yes.
it's like very, um, they're very stable in who they are. Like they're very foundational in the
Yes.
presence that they bring and know like you cannot change me, which I respect.
Yes.
Like they let people, they don't mind tourists, but there's like, you know, there's a good amount of people.
Yes.
I don't know what they think. But I know what I feel when I'm there.
Yeah.
Best experience of my
Yeah.
like I not
Yeah.
only that, but I got to share my sound healing with a group of 19 women. Like,
Yeah, that's right. So that one you were actually performing your sound
yes, I
in that.
actually
Yeah.
performed.
Yeah. How
And
was that? Do you feel awesome now? Like just getting yourself out there?
I'm just like, holy smoke. Like, I'm so grateful that I was able to give my sound and that opportunity, beautiful
Mm,
opportunity that literally happens so effortlessly.
yes.
Um,
Oh,
uh, on New Year's Eve, and I met this girl named KJ, and she asked me about her retreat, and I knew nothing about her. And yeah, just something told me to take the opportunity. But I mean, I will say I paid for basically the
yeah.
majority of it, but it was like I wanted to put myself out there to see
Yes.
myself
Yes.
actually have proof that I can do it.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes. That is awesome, girl. Seriously, that's awesome. That's a pretty quick turnaround as well. I don't want to say turnaround, but like that's a big You took some big steps
Yeah,
pretty quickly. Yeah. Yeah.
but pretty quickly, like within
Yeah.
what I started sound healing 2 years ago.
Yeah. That's
Less
huge.
than that, I think. It had to do with me. I started with me. I started
Yes.
learning about myself and about the shadow work, the inner child healing, the 9 types of meditation. Like, I'll do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'll do anything.
And then it gets to a point, just like you were saying with the vibes in Costa Rica, like they're so grounded. They're so they it gets to a point where you know yourself so well that it's like there is no turning back. There is no denying it. There is no like you can't even throw all the illusion at me all you want. It gets to a certain point where you're so in yourself, knowing who you are, where you come from, what your power is, all of like it gets to a point where it's just like I couldn't deny this if I wanted to. I can't believe you got there so quickly. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just a point proven for
Yeah.
who've had mental
Yes.
issues, people who struggle to see themselves, young adults who struggle with mental health every fucking day.
Yes.
And like nobody is talking about it. Nobody's talking about that. I just want to make it a real subject,
Yes.
be a proof of my own struggles and sacrifices.
Yes.
Just I'm not perfect. I just followed what no longer served me. I let go, and
Mhm.
I had to pray a lot. I mean, I'll be honest, I
Yeah.
prayed as part of, when like that was the only thing that I felt understood was,
Yes.
and I do want to emphasize on God a lot. God has helped me through a lot of my struggles and some of the other um, higher like frequencies that I also tap into
Hmm.
because I cannot do this alone.
Yeah.
Faith is my
We were
strength.
never meant to.
Yeah,
And even the fact like that's a part of the illusion is that we're separate from God. No, it's we're none of us are. We just think we are. So it makes total sense that that is the rock that got that was your foundation. That was the one thing that just was steadfast, always there because it is always there. That will
well, I
never
was,
go away. It's just a matter of, you tapping into it or not, really.
yeah, just imagine being a child who struggles with trauma so much that they lose themselves. They
Yeah.
develop PTSD, they develop schizophrenia, they develop all these other bipolar disorders, all that, like they don't know anything else. And
Yeah.
somebody speaks up about it. And I think that's one of the issues I have with most, retreats or, people that talk about spirituality. Is like no one wants to talk about the truth.
Yeah. And really, I mean, whether you're diagnosed with something or what, I mean, really, all of us, every single one of us, and especially those who, if anyone thinks they're not crazy, they're crazy. You know what I mean? If you think you've got it
That's
all
one
figured out up here,
example.
you are probably the furthest from having it figured out.
That's one
Really,
example, but like beyond like craziness that goes on
all of it.
typically
Yes.
here in Texas.
Depression, no matter what you're talking about, like if you're in denial of it, like I mean, the what we've seen happen, and not even just recently, but since the beginning of this earth, like what we've seen play out, it's like clearly we've got to figure out what's going on up here because what's going on in here is going to play out here. And
Yeah,
if this is what's going on in here, hello, all of us need to work on many things.
yeah. And it really is up to that person that
Yeah.
is that, like I said, my mentor said, we all are born with so much potential, but
Yeah.
it also depends on the people that raise them.
Yes. Yes, your environment growing up is it's everything. Yes.
And
Yeah.
so it's up to leaders that learn about the spiritual community, leaders and people that want to understand themselves better, people who want to speak up and speak out. It's up to us to nurture
Yeah.
the lost souls,
Yes. Yeah.
to provide the truth and
Yeah.
to be compassionate and graceful.
Yeah.
And, like I said, you can't do that without a community, a village.
And it's funny because you can't do it without community, and it's so easy to feel alone. There's so many kids that are in environments where they are alone and they don't have a voice, and that I think it's so important for people to be doing exactly what you're talking about. Someone has to, I mean, no one has to do anything, but I know what I went through as a child, what a lot of people have gone through as a child. We need to start speaking up for those who can't, whether it's an animal, whether it's a child, whatever. Like the generational sin needs to stop somewhere.
Once more people are aware of their wounds, of their pain, of their um the shadows. I
Yes. Yes.
think that's one of the hardest things to look at too, the
Yeah.
shadows.
Yeah. They've just been, you've buried them for so long. We haven't dealt with them for so long. So you know what I mean? Like I feel
It can
like
be intimidating.
yes.
It can
Yeah.
be scary because it's like it was part of the reason why you protected yourself for so long.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Uh, I couldn't agree more. One of the questions I wanted to ask, I would love to hear your definition of God and or love, either one or both.
God is this ability to love you for all, for all the parts of you,
Yes.
bad parts, the good
Mm.
parts, the healthy masculine, the healthy feminine, the mother we never had, the father we never had, the just everything that is freedom. I would say freedom too.
Yes, I love that. Girl, I
Freedom.
am covered in goosebumps right now.
I'm like, please give me
Covered.
the word of freedom.
Covered.
It's your ability just to express yourself fully, unapologetically. It's the sun, it's the moon, it's everything. It's
Yes.
everyone.
Yes.
It's um it, it's just a freeing feeling. It's
Yes. I love that you said freedom. I love that. And that only just goes back to what we were saying at the very beginning. This is our God-given birthright. Free will, like that is, it makes total sense that you would use that word and describe
yeah.
God
It's
that way because yeah, yeah, I love it. I love that.
I think my if I had anything to say before we leave this chat is to speak up and tell your story.
Mm,
Like to
amen.
speak up for yourself. Know that you are a bad bitch and you are amazing. You are amazing, you're a bad bitch, and you have a badass voice.
Yes.
And speak up. Just speak
Mhm.
up. Speak your light. Speak everything that you love because worth it's worth it.
Yeah. I
It's worth
mean, why would we be here if we can't be ourselves? You know?
right. Use your
What are
voice.
we doing? Yes.
Make weird sounds,
Yes.
Make weird sounds. Like who
Yes.
cares?
Who
Be
cares?
be
Yeah.
goofy, wear cool
Yes.
clothes. Like life isn't serious. And I think
Yeah.
it's so important. Like
We
life
take it
isn't
so seriously. Yeah. It was never, yeah. Yeah.
enjoy it. Enjoy the
Yeah.
water. Go sit by the water.
Yes. Out like it's truly. Yeah. Nature is where it's at. Truly.
Truly.
I've been drawing for a while now. I've been drawing it started off kind of like as like my dream house, and now I'm doing like different designs because I actually think I'm going to end up working with these eventually. But I keep building like homes that are very indoor outdoor living and like in ways that like we haven't really seen before. I can't do like I don't want a ceiling over my head anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, I know we
Why?
have to, but yeah, we've gone for far too long inside in buildings in clothes again, keeping us in the box.
Yes, get yourself outside, girl. Every time
Yes.
I go to the park, I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, I definitely recommend
Yes.
it. So
Yes.
I'm gonna play my bowl.
Please. Yes.
I just gonna play this one, but I did want to show everyone the one that I bought from you real quick.
It is beautiful. I am not kidding, Laura. If I told myself if no one buys this, like it's all good, like it's just so beautiful, I could just put it on display, you
I
know?
just fell in love with the gold symbol.
Yes. I love gold.
So this is the, excuse me, this is the bowl that I bought from Miss Allie. It's the root chakra, but I feel like it's more I feel like it's more of the higher frequencies, like the throat or the heart. I find that I use those frequencies
Interesting.
more, the those chakras more. I'm gonna play it for you so everybody can hear it. Okay.
That's beautiful.
I love this.
Is that your like universal wand? Because that wand isn't what came with it, right?
No, this is
Yeah.
one that I bought
Yeah.
online.
I think that
That
makes a
one would
difference.
be really loud. Like
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
hear it
Okay.
higher, higher.
Okay. I like that wand. I was watching my dog while you were doing this.
Oh,
Just
really?
how she would
What was he
respond.
doing?
She was just looking over here. She was sleeping.
She was like, "What?"
I love watching animals when it comes to stuff like that. They just see and understand things differently than we do.
I
So
love
funny. We
seeing
can
how it affects them too.
yes, yes.
And this is my other one. And then I'll use my voice too.
Beautiful.
Thanks, girl.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So, can you sing? I mean, and when I say I like I want to be like, duh, yeah.
Honestly, I'm working on it, but I feel like anybody could sing, but
Yeah.
I really want to get to a point where my voice, like I am more confident in the range of my voice.
Yeah.
And the more that I continue to talk out loud and do these platforms,
I
the more,
love it.
because it's like my heart, I'm opening my heart to whatever feeling comes through my body. And then with the sounds that my instrument makes, um I'm just blessed with the ability to make sound
I
with
love it.
my instruments.
So, as a kid, like, did you sing like as I know you didn't have a voice in this like I'm assuming that was more so standing up for yourself, speaking your truth, but did you sing as a kid?
Mm-mm.
And if
I
you
never sang, never thought I could
that's
sing. But I
crazy.
love dancing. I love dancing.
You
I
are
still love
her.
dancing,
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I just like I said, I was just I struggled to verbalize or articulate like
Wow.
what I was feeling, and it's just like my voice was stuck, and it's like I couldn't
Um,
put a voice to anything I was feeling, and it was like felt
yeah.
like just being suppressed and suppressed. And now that I can sing, I'm like, bitch,
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah. What? Because
anywhere.
I was asking this because some people's voices, I've heard a number of people say going through the a spiritual awakening or whatever you want to call it, that their voice will literally change because their vibration is changing. So it makes sense that some people's voices sound different. And I just mean like their talking voice sound totally different than what they did before. And that doesn't happen to everybody. Mine didn't change. I spoke to all of my guests I ask, and it's kind of 50-50. So that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, has actually the tone changed, or was it just the getting it out?
The confidence
Yeah.
um, feeling, and like I felt like my stomach was explode. Like I just felt
Uh-huh.
like I don't know, like I was like expressing everything that was holding
Yes.
on, like that was just so stuck, and just like I was able to let it free.
I love it. This all just
I mean,
fast.
I still
I can't
struggle
wait
with
to see people
words.
like, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I think that's again for a number of reasons. Um, But yeah, I'm just so like I think about stuff like this. Like, I wonder how many people actually sound like, Whitney Houston, and we have no idea because they're just not, you know, like
Really think
truly,
about
like
that
watch all of us just be
how
we can actually
Whitney
all sing
Houston.
beautifully. We just don't know it.
Girl, that's what I'm saying. Chop
Yeah,
chop. Like
yeah, yeah.
let's start speaking up,
Yes,
start expressing ourselves. Let's
yes,
start doing the work. Like let's
yes,
start that self-love journey.
yes.
But like also, I mean, it's not pretty. I'm gonna be
Mm-mm.
like there are moments where I want to just like give up. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm so proud of myself.
Yes, you should be. You really should be.
I'm like everything my little girl wanted. Like I'm everything my inner child wanted, and
Yeah.
I'm cooler than I just feel like I've done so
You
much.
said a bad bitch. Yes, we all.
That bitch, yes, girl.
This I haven't asked anyone, and I wasn't going to, but now that you said that, if you could tell your inner child anything, what would it be?
I love you so much, and thank you for believing in me and believing in the love that makes you beautiful.
I
The
l-
love that makes you so beautiful, that you shine so bright that people start feeling the brightness in them too. That's what I would tell her.
I don't know if you can see it, but literally, like you can probably see my arm here, like covered. You're beautiful. You are beautiful inside and out. Like truly.
I appreciate that. And you are too. I
This has
mean,
been awesome.
this has been so fun.
This is awesome. I'm so glad I didn't ask you a bunch of questions beforehand. Thank
So
you,
glad
Facebook Marketplace.
like, well, where did you do this and what time? And I'm like, girl, let's just talk.
Oh my gosh, this is
Very
so great.
natural at this.
I
You
just talk a lot.
no, but you can tell you really love doing
I
these.
do love, like, I do. The moment throughout, so I had gone through the dark night of the soul and had a reaction to the vaccine, and that was happening at the same time. So I was bedbound for a while through COVID. And just like the moment I stepped into this, there was there was no going back because I truly love this. I could talk about this for the rest of my life. Like,
Oh,
that's why I was just like,
same.
I need to start a podcast. Like I'm doing this at home with people around me. Like, why not just put it out there?
This is
I
part of
enjoy
my
it so
dreams.
much. Yes.
Keep doing them, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep
Absolutely.
putting your voice out there.
Yeah.
Keep putting people that you like. Your intuition's on point. You're putting people. on your podcast that really have an impact
Yeah.
um on the world today. So just keep
Yeah.
doing
Yeah. Yeah. I
Make
absolutely
it
will.
a goal.
What's that?
Keep making it a goal.
Oh, for sure. Yes. I want to bring you back on. I would love to bring you back on in a couple of months or whatever.
Yes, girl.
Let's definitely keep in touch because
And we'll talk
I
about like
love,
retreats and stuff.
yes, yeah, yeah. I don't know why I didn't think like, it's not that I didn't think that I would bring people back, but I didn't think about it. I
Yeah,
like when I was planning this, like it was just like I was just thinking about like who I was going to get on, and every time I talk to someone, I'm just like, I have to do like updates at some, you know what I mean? Because
that's
it
such a good
really looks
idea.
so,
Yeah,
that,
I agree with that. That's a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah. So I would
Girl,
love to bring you
you're
back
rocking
on
it.
at some point.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you so
rocking it.
much.
You're welcome.
Seriously, thank you so much. This was beautiful.
Oh.
Absolutely beautiful.